Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Electric Viking. Fantastic to see you here today. And, I hope you've had an awesome day. Thank you for watching the channel, and thank you for subscribing to the channel as well. Chinese manufacturers are going to eat the lunch of many existing brands on a reputation for reliability, value, and price. Mitsubishi, Nissan, Subaru, Honda, even Toyota, among others, are sleepwalking into irrelevance, and it won't take long. They'll wake up in 3 short years, maybe 4 at best, and wonder where all of their customers went. Great Wall Motors, Aura, Haval, MG, BYD, NIO, XPeng, Li Auto, and a number of others, including Geely and Volvo, are coming fast, and they're coming hard. The premium manufacturers are not immune to this disruption. In fact, they are the ones that will also be disrupted. What is surprising to me is the Western media's blind spot for what is about to happen. From the 2021 Shanghai International Motor Show, most Western press lead stories were too busy laughing at some of the more esoteric stuff and totally missing the big reveals and themes of the show. Some Australian and American media coverage was ridiculous. They seem to be more interested in clicks than actually figuring out what is going on right now. Now, Mike Costello reports for Car Expert, an Australian website, that made in China electric cars are poised to dominate. And when he says poised to dominate, I don't think he's just talking about Australia here. I think you'll find he's talking about everywhere. Now, Australia's 2 biggest selling EVs both come from China. One of them is Tesla, but where is it made? It's made in China. This trend won't slow down as new brands are currently right now preparing to join the cheaper end of the market. And believe it or not, if you're from the United States, well, you're not immune to this. BYD have more or less announced through job listings in America that they're coming there soon as well. If you're in Europe, the trend will be even more stark, with manufacturers already targeting Europe, already selling cars in Europe, and planning for an onslaught in 2022 and 2023. Now, the rapid sales growth of cars made in China has become a discussion point lately everywhere, pretty much. Now, the growth of electric vehicles will make it a much, much bigger one over the next few years. I think you'll find, if you're watching this channel and watching this video right now, that you're going to be one of those people that looks back and says to your friends, "Hey, I told you so." And they're going to say, yep, okay, you were right, Ron, George, Bill, whatever your name is. But I think you'll find that you might be a few years ahead of your friends who might have their heads still stuck in the stand. Now, the affordable end of the EV market looks like it will be bristling with affordable Chinese-made offerings before too long. In fact, I predict that by 2030, pretty much 90% of the affordable end of the car market globally will be Chinese. Whether that's made in China or Chinese, one or the other, it doesn't matter. For background, made in China car sales, all fuel types that is, more than tripled to the end of August this year compared to the same period in 2020. As you can see, this is a global trend. Now, in Australia, in the UK, and in some other countries, MG is now a top 10 brand. MG was a completely unknown brand that went bankrupt pretty much several years ago before it was bought out by Geely and turned into an electric car brand. And then, in the space of a very short period of time, became an enormous success story for the company. Now, LDV, on the other hand, is a staple among couriers and tradies. Great Wall Motors, GWM, is selling every single vehicle it can get its hands on, and Haval's SUV range is racing up the sales charts. Now, Great Wall Motors is bringing Aura to a number of countries. It's their electric car brand, and many other brands are poised to jump into international markets outside of their own country of China where there is an enormous amount of competition. There are more than 400 EV brands in China, all desperately competing for Chinese buyers' attention and money. There is a lot less competition outside of China for the EV market. In fact, there's not enough cars to supply the demand. So China is in an incredible position here. They have the stock, they have the supply, they have the ability to sell them at a price that others just simply can't match. Now, these current vehicles destroy the image of made in China that was implied just 5 years ago. They have significantly improved in quality, in range, in everything about them. They're competitive, they're well priced, very well priced, and there is stock out there. Something that's far from guaranteed in the semiconductor chip supply constrained automotive market, global automotive market right now. Now, in Australia and in many other countries, China is far and away the biggest source of EVs, accounting for something like 80% market share. The Chinese-made Tesla Model 3 dominates here in Australia and in many other countries, including the United States. Tesla doesn't divulge Australian sales, but the generally accepted volume for January to June was 5,000, equal to about 70% of the total market. A similar market share is held by Tesla in the United States. The Model Y will join it soon. Now, sales data shows the MG ZS EV is second overall year to date here in Australia, first among brands that report with 1,000 sales. By contrast, the Hyundai Kona Electric found only 300 buyers, and the Nissan Leaf only 300 as well. As you can see, the relatively unknown MG is blasting its competition out of the water here in Australia. Now, neither of those figures should be shocking. Tesla is synonymous with EVs worldwide and happens to export Australian Model 3s from its Shanghai plant, and SAIC Motors MGZS is the cheapest EV on sale. Now, beyond this, two major Chinese new energy vehicle producers are both looking at opportunities in Australia and America and Europe. Crucially, both of these manufacturers are at the cheaper end of the market, where there's by far the most potential volume. One of these brands, as you know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, is the Warren Buffett-backed BYD, which is working with distributor Nexport to sell its expanding range of EVs direct to consumers online. Now, this is a similar model to Tesla that basically cuts out the dealer, meaning that they can sell these vehicles at a far lower cost than their competitors can. In addition to that, they're manufactured in China by a company who also makes the batteries, makes the motors, makes pretty much everything in the car, meaning that the actual manufacturing cost for this vehicle for BYD is on par with their ICE vehicles. So they're the only company in the world that we know of at this point that can do that. How do you compete with that? Answer me that question. The $35,000 before on-road cost BYD T3 electric van and the $40,000 BYD E6 electric people mover are both available to order already here in Australia. And 2022 will bring other vehicles including the Yen Plus SUV, the BYD Dolphin hatchback, and a number of other vehicles. Now, 2023 will bring an electric ute or electric pickup truck. Those prices in US dollars, $27,000 for the van, $30,000 for the people mover, which is basically a mid-sized SUV. Very compelling. Now, the BYD and Nexport partnership has already announced details on a major deal with Splend, a vehicle subscription company that plans to lease a reported 2,000 odd of these BYD EVs to Uber and Didi drivers out to 2023. Now, that partnership also goes as far as the United Kingdom. Then there is Aura, another sub-brand of Great Wall Motors Group that makes no secret of its intention to grow globally and sees Australia, where it has a full factory distributor, as something of a test market. Going to be interesting to see how they go, considering just how well Great Wall Motors are selling their cars here. They've been having more than a 300% increase in sales over the past 12 months. Now, Aura sell a cute little retro EV hatch called the Aura Cat, and it will go into right-hand drive production for the UK in 2022 and presumably Australia, New Zealand, and potentially even Japan. Aura have said the vehicle is also coming to Australia, along with the SUV they make as well. Now remember, these EV brands, like MG before them, have honed their products in the incredibly competitive and the world's biggest EV market. The so-called legacy brands actually have far fewer advantages when it comes to new technology and price. There's no reason why more can't and won't follow them. There are countless options, including the likes of NIO and XPeng, and many see exports as the end goal, as they should. Look at XPeng's P5, $24,000 US ticket price, and its incredibly compelling specifications and luxury level. Honestly, it isn't difficult to foresee the cheaper, high-volume part of Australia and the world's EV market comprising a far higher proportion of Chinese-made cars than the petrol and diesel markets. Very soon, an enormous disruption will have taken place, and we all will be sitting back and wondering to ourselves, wow, didn't that happen quickly? Now, I don't know if I agree with this comment, but it does propose some interesting thought. LFA said on Car Expert, China can develop the EVs as efficiently as they can control the pandemic. This is what happens when the government is run by adults, not by children. Check out the article entitled Americans Don't Know How Capitalist China Is from Harvard Business Review if you want to consume something other than the sweet Western propaganda about China. Well, soon I'll have a video about the article titled Americans Don't Know How Capitalist China Is from the Harvard Business Review. Check on the channel for that coming soon. Now, we haven't mentioned one car that I speak about on this channel quite often, and that is the Wuling Mini. Remember, 90% of people in the Western world live in cities. Most people now actually live in single households. It's by far the fastest growing household type. And in fact, it's growing every year at an enormous rate. What do those people actually need? Do they need a big vehicle? I don't think so. The Wuling Mini is for sale for just over $5,000 US, and the new version will have a 300-kilometer range, twice the battery size, and a much more powerful motor, which will enable it to do a safe speed on highways. This is the car that I believe may just transform the entire automotive industry. Let's wait and see. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.